My teammate is Namaya Angelinda Patricia, and we also have Nachisanze Desiranta. She's just moved out. So basically what we do, we bridge up the gap between unprivileged young women and financial services. So basically the financial services we provide here are startup capital for the young women that already have financial ideas, and for those that do not have, we also offer services like financial education. We can teach you so much about low risk and high risk investments.
Doesn't that sound like something I talked to somebody about? Is there someone else who's doing something similar? Education something? Okay. No, it's interesting that you're all trying to solve this problem, which is a big problem, actually. So if I'm a young female, I get onto your platform, and I can learn something, and I can also borrow some money.
You can borrow some money and start up something, and in case it works out, and now you can come back and save with us.
Okay, so you guys will have enough money to dish out to us?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you. I'm a young woman, I'll come there. Hello.
Hello, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Mariam Dagire and my teammate is Emakula Peter Waswa. We are If You Will.
Mariam Dagire, like the singer?
Yes.
You took both her names. Okay.
We are team the If You Will, basically.
You're just two?
Yep.
Are you just two?
Yes. No, there's a third person, but she's not around.
All right.
Yes. So we are coming up with a digital platform that is going to help border riders, specifically those that are registered, to obtain fuel on credit, then pay back later, because they face a challenge of not having enough to actually pay fuel for. So we are coming up with a solution.
So if I'm a border person, I become, you said if they are a member, I would have to register on your platform to become your member?
No, you have to be a registered member of a border association. You know they have associations?
Yes.
Yes, so we are reducing that risk of giving to everyone and they run away. So you have to be registered first with the border association, then you can come onto our platform.
But how will you know that I'm registered with the border? I can lie to you.
No, you cannot lie because, for example, we were doing a field study at Wandegea and there is a border chairman. They have all the details about
I know that they're very organized, by the way. I do know that. They always have the leader, that all the members, they're listening. But what I'm saying is that you're not at the border station yourself. You're online, right?
Yes.
I am a border person randomly somewhere in Kamwocha. I go onto your platform. You're not with my border chairman right there to confirm that I am actually a member of that stage.
We can confirm.
You wanted to say something?
What? It's like, so how the system is working, it's the border rider is not going to directly interact with the web application. Okay, I will give you an overview of what is going to happen.
No, just answer the question. I'm a border person. I want, if you will, how do you confirm that I'm registered with an association for you to give me the fuel?
How do we confirm that you're part of the association?
Yeah, that border stage that I claim to be a member of.
We have the certain information. We collected all the information about all the associations.
Okay.
So you are verified with the chairman of that.
So you already have the names of the
yes.
border people on that station.
On that specific station.
So if I say I'm from this Kamwocha station,
and you are not,
and I'm not already on the database,
yeah, so we
then
don't.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's simple. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. You're a big team. Hands of Women Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. Jennifer Nana is my name, from Team Hands of Women Foundation. We have Peace, Brenda, Susan, and Barbara.
How come you have more team members?
Yes.
You're allowed to have more than others? Go on.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes. Hands of Women Foundation is a village saving and loan association whereby we work with women, single mothers, widows, and women with disability. What we do, our women, they make art craft, peanut butter, and different kind of things. We empower them to make those products. But the challenge they're facing, they don't have market. So our platform will be able to be selling their products online, and then what we'll be doing, all the money will be, all the payment will be done through the mobile wallet, whereby each woman from the group will be having their own mobile wallet, whereby 60% will be going towards.
So I'm a village woman.
Yes.
I do honey, right?
Yes.
I must register with you guys,
Yes.
and you'll buy my honey.
Yes. What we'll do.
Wait,
Yes.
will you buy my honey and pay me immediately, or you'll collect my honey, sell it, and then pay me?
What we'll do, we'll collect your honey, sell it for you, and then we will give you the money. Yes.
Okay, you may have to refine that a little bit. I'm a poor woman. I'm giving you my honey, and I'm not getting anything. I have to wait until you sell it.
Okay, what we'll do,
Yes.
we have like a specific percentage that will give you immediately to support you paying your kids at school. Meanwhile, we'll be making sure that we sell your products, and then you will also benefit in our group by getting other trainings.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Tax on point. Did I pronounce it correctly? Sorry. Sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Marion. This is Joseph and Blaze. This is Team Tax on Point.
Right.
Yeah, so we realized that in Uganda, individuals and small enterprises struggle with complex and time-consuming tax compliance processes.
Okay.
So we are creating a platform that is going to automate tax calculations and maintain organized financial records, send reminders to taxpayers to pay their taxes on time, and then we shall be giving them education resources about taxes related to Uganda. We shall have a secure wallet that people can save up so that when the time comes to pay taxes, the money is already there on their wallets.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have a company, the Ideation Corner, and I come onto your platform and I tell you that this is my company. I don't even know what taxes I'm supposed to pay, or if I'm supposed to pay any taxes at all. And then your platform will help me figure it out?
We reach out to you, and then...
But you don't know me. How will you? After I come onto your platform, that's when you reach out to me?
Yeah, we
Okay.
talk to you, you subscribe, then we can give you our services, because different people pay different taxes.
Yes. Okay, so I get onto your platform, I tell you, my company is Ideation Corner. I don't know if I am even supposed to pay tax or whatever compliance requirements are. You get in touch with me. Then
We advise
then
you.
you advise. You advise me for free?
Yeah.
Oh, free of charge. Nice. Thank you. That's very nice. But I don't know how you'll survive if you're offering your services for free.
Subscription, if we are to offer our services, if you're to use our application, you subscribe. That's
How much
where
would I pay? You haven't decided yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on how big your business is.
It's hypothetically $100 million revenue business. Don't worry. Care Connect. No, Car Care Connect. Car Care.
Good
Care
morning.
Connect. Morning. I like the words.
Yeah, we are Team Car Care Connect. I'm
Yes.
Evelyn. She's Pauline and he's Benjamin.
Okay.
So Car Care Connect is a mobile application designed to ease the location of mechanics for different car owners who face breakdowns on their travels. So how the application works, it makes use of Google Maps to retrieve, and your phone location to retrieve for you the nearby mechanics depending on where you are. So
It's
you
like
get,
an Uber for mechanics.
yeah,
So if my car breaks down on Bombo Road, I get onto your app and you tell me there is a mechanic 100 meters from you.
yeah, there is a mechanic around 100 meters from you, and the details of the mechanic, the phone number. Yeah, so you can contact them or use the app to chat with them, and they can come. And
How will you get these mechanics to register with your platform?
how we are going to get them, we are going to reach out to them, explain for them the importance of the application to them and how they benefit, and they would subscribe to have their information on the application.
How do you make sure that these mechanics, I have a car and I struggle with mechanics. Actually, I don't deal with them because they're so complicated. How do you ensure that they are legit mechanics? Because there are so many quack mechanics.
How we are going to make sure that they are legit is we believe they have company description, company data, like they are registered.
They don't, they are not. They're not. Have you dealt with mechanics? They're not registered anywhere. They don't even have certificates. There are very few actually certified trained mechanics. And if we only use those certified mechanics, it will be a struggle because there are few. Yeah. So think through a little bit more. A lot of mechanics are self-trained. They just become mechanics.
Yeah.
Okay. So think through a little bit more about that.
Okay.
Chikumi, didn't Chikumi speak? They're on my list. Pesajet. Hi.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
I'm Angela Kansamira. This is Team Pesajet. This is Aksam. This is Com and Vanessa.
Yes.
So our platform is called Pesajet, and it's an online stock loan platform. So we are targeting medium and small scale businesses who are looking to add more stock to their businesses but don't have the capital to do it. So what they do is they log onto our platform, they fill out our KYC, and then they apply for the stock they need. So they give us the names of the stock, like the materials they need, their quantities, and then we take this, what they have given us, to our suppliers, and we send them a quotation, and when they agree that yes, we can purchase these goods for them, we purchase the goods and deliver them to their premises, and then they can pay us back in a standardized way.
So you'll be offering these stock to me if I come onto your platform and say I want 100 bags of cement.
Yes, please.
And I don't have the money. I get my cement without giving you a cent, and I pay over time.
Yes.
How do you make sure that I don't run away with your cement? How do you make sure? You've given me your 100 bags of cement, right?
Yes.
You said I'll pay you slowly.
Yes.
How do you make sure that I don't run away with the cement? Because now I have the cement, you have nothing.
Yes, so we have some guarantors when you're registering for the KYC. We have guarantor. You have to fill out a guarantor that you can call and also your details. So we shall keep following up until.
No, but still, I can give you guarantors. They're my friends. You call them. They say, yeah, Dama is fantastic. Lend her their 100 bags of cement. And I still steal your cement.
We shall keep following up with you.
Think. You pay. You're the only one on your team. You're a one-woman team.
My teammates are not around.
Okay. So tell me about UPay in the simplest terms possible.
My name is Patricia Nairuba, and UPay is our team name, but our platform is called AgroMarket Connect. So it's meant to bridge farmers and their customers. Okay. It also helps farmers evaluate their products, majorly livestock. It evaluates your cow and tells you this is its health. So it also keeps the records.
Wait. So how does that platform do that? Do I scan
an
the cow?
AI model. It's going to have an AI model that evaluates the product and keeps the records.
So the AI model, how will it value my cow? Do I scan the cow?
No, it scans your cow. It scans your cow.
Yes.
Then it gives you the feedback.
Yes.
Then that feedback is uploaded on your website, something like that.
And then you value it.
Yeah, then it will keep the records for your customers to see the value of that cow.
Okay, it's very interesting. Because I've seen them with you scan your plant, which may be sick, and then they tell you what disease it has. So you'll be doing this with livestock.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. HiPipo, we talked. And how did you know about this hackathon? You. How did you know about the hackathon?
Through my group leader.
Who?
Bridget.
Who's not here?
Yeah.
Do you know how she knew about the hackathon?
I don't know.
You don't? Okay, that's interesting. Safe and free. Home. Elite.
Thank you. My name is Mutes Patricia from Elite Company. This is Jocelyn and Robert Senono, my groupmates.
Before you start, how did you know about the hackathon?
We have a platform at campus.
Okay.
So they posted.
Which campus are you in?
Chambogo University.
Chambogo. So they posted that, guys, we should register for this hackathon.
Yes.
And you registered?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So Elite, not Elite. Yeah, I was mispronouncing it.
Yes. So Elite Company, it's a real estate company that provides solutions for low-income earners and people who don't earn on a daily basis to find places of residence, like apartments, land for buying or even renting. It makes it easy for them to find it on our mobile application, and we go ahead to we help them to acquire land in case you don't have money, like enough money to buy land.
If I'm
at that
poor,
time.
I don't have money at all, I come onto your app and you will actually give me land or offer me an apartment without money from my
No.
side. Yeah.
You pay a certain
But
amount.
I don't have
You
money.
pay in installments.
I'm poor.
I know, but to get
So it
land,
can't be very poor.
very, very poor.
You need to have a certain amount of money
certain
still.
amount you pay in installments. You
Yes.
may not finish the whole amount, but you pay in installments till you finish.
Okay.
So
How will you
provide-
have access to these apartments or to this land?
The landowners, landlords,
Yeah.
okay, it's through market strategy. If they get to know about a mobile application, they bring their land, their apartments on but they have to first subscribe for us to market for you your products.
Will they pay?
Yes,
a fee?
they pay, yes.
Okay. Because I was trying to figure out where you're getting your money from yourselves.
I know they pay
They'll pay.
for us to market for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're a one-woman team?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's late. My name is Patricia Giramia. This is Cyanese.
Chinese. Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't, the name was interesting, but I couldn't pronounce it. I didn't put it on my list.
So Cyanese is a startup fintech. Our main goal is to make investing more accessible to everyone, including the traditionally underserved market. So basically, we have a platform.
Yes.
You deposit as little as 2K.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a bias that in Uganda right now, when you want to invest, it's usually hard to find where to invest. You would like to invest in land maybe, but do I trust this person? Or
So with my 2K,
so you create an account,
Yes.
you bring your 2K,
yes,
you deposit.
yes,
Then after, we have the fund managers on board who are going to pick your 2K and invest it in
on my
whatever-
behalf.
Yes. so, yeah. So we're looking at how
and then my 2K, how much money will it produce?
So it depends on where you're going to invest, because the
But
fund
I'm
man-
not investing. I'm just putting my 2K on your platform. Then you and your fund managers are running away with it and investing it in God knows what.
No, you're investing because you don't just deposit the 2K, you select where your 2K is going
It's
to go.
supposed to be invested.
So
Okay.
the fund managers are bringing in investment options.
Okay,
Bills,
so
bonds.
so the
and-
options will be like, okay, you can invest in bonds, in treasury bills, in apartments, blah, blah, with your 2K.
Yes.
And then I say, with my 2K, I want
Yeah,
to
and you
invest in
select-
real estate.
Yeah, you select the handler, the fund manager in particular. We list all of them for you.
Okay.
So you know who's handling your 2K and
What if this fund manager invests, I say, I want real estate, my 2K. Fund manager invests it, and then we lose the money. My 2K is gone, and I'm a poor person. What do I do?
we have a partner with us
Yes.
to handle all our legal issues. So your 2K is it's not going anywhere.
Thank you. But that's a product for rich people, not for very poor people.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So I'm with Akom, Michael, and Olga in her absentia. BallPay is a startup that is streamlining payments for borehole maintenance fees in rural and peri-urban areas of Uganda.
Oh, it's a borehole.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Thank
So we have a borehole in our village. So, and it breaks down actually.
Yes, they do
often.
break down.
And then they can't maintain it. So in my village, with our borehole, if it breaks down, we would use BoaPay to
Yes,
do what?
to make your payments. So BoaPay would go through the water committees or the borehole committee in
Yes.
your village
Yes.
to onboard everyone, register everyone, and issue them a card.
Okay.
Then with a small platform that you can access on a small feature phone.
Yeah,
that
I
has
was
like
just going to tell
only-
you, my village people have capability. They do
Yes.
not have smartphones.
Yes.
Yes.
We looked into that,
Yeah.
and we realized you could not use SSD to implement our application because it will be expensive on our side.
Mhm.
But you can develop a very simple application that has like only 5 clicks or even 4, where you just log in. Your account is already registered with the water committee, so we have it. Your amount for a given month, say August, just tick your 2,000, just one button like this. Mobile money, we have that transaction made, and the water committee has the money, and it ticks off your month.
So the people in that community, in our
Yes.
village community, all contribute
Yes.
to this saving for the maintenance through your
Yes.
platform.
Yes.
Then when it breaks down, it
Yes.
always does, your BoaPay gives us back our money to do the maintenance.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, they always have. They're so
They
organized.
have a caretaker.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. It's nice.
Thank you.
Because yes, our borehole breaks down often.
Good morning. This is Business Banking Hub, and my name is Namujun Bisunita Sharifa, and this is Nambogo Zauja, and our other member, he didn't come, he's sick.
Okay. How did you know about the hackathon?
It was through a friend who passed on yesterday.
Oh, sorry. Tell on you. Sorry.
Yeah, she told me about it. I think we were doing our last paper. She
Mhm.
told me you should come for the hackathon. I'm like, okay.
And you registered and gotten?
Yeah.
Okay.
Business Banking Hub, it's a business banking manager. From the word go, we help you register your business, get the necessary paperwork, the certificates, the USB things. You can bulk pay your workers just with one click. You can transfer your money from your merchant code to your, payments from merchant code from your phone to your bank. You can pay your taxes. You can.
I feel like that
see your credit
solution
worth.
already exists a lot. What's the difference between the current solutions on the market and this?
This is way convenient. We have looked at some solutions which are provided by banks.
Yes.
And they are hectic. Yeah, and there is no solution which creates business banking. No, like from the word go, you go and actually register
As
from the
a
application.
business, not as an
Yeah,
individual.
As a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's different.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Game changers. How are you?
Fine.
What are you game changing?
My name is Sarah Gemo, and this is Daniel Oluga. Our colleague Sumaya Nalukwago lost someone, so
sorry,
she's in for a barrier. So our team.
How did you hear about the hackathon?
Well, it was through this guy.
Thank you, Guy. How did you hear about the hackathon?
It was through my friend who attended last year.
Okay, so he told you every year this thing happens, we should
Yeah,
prepare
she
to
told
register.
me.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So first, we're developing a mobile application that helps detect fake notes.
Okay.
Yes. So like we hope to use an advanced image recognition technology and machine learning algorithms, whereby we feed in the application with specific features of.
Don't worry. I'm not a techie, by the way. So your app enables me to detect a fake note. Who
Yes.
are your potential clients?
Well, it can be you, it can be me, it can be small scale businesses,
Yes.
people who handle cash every day. Okay, like we're aiming at people who don't have a lot of money, like small scale businesses.
Yes.
Because.
And your app would need a smartphone, wouldn't it?
It just needs a good camera.
Which is normally on a smartphone.
Yes.
I can't use a feature phone for it, can I?
Well.
Yeah, you need a smartphone. Okay. But I can imagine your potential clients are probably people in Chikubo. I mean, they have a lot of cash. They process a lot of cash, and they can afford a smartphone, definitely.
Exactly. And of course, you know, if you don't want to make losses, if you want to be sure that the notes I'm getting every day are authentic, then definitely you'll get the app. So we hope to make money out of it through subscriptions. We shall give you a premium maybe of 10 notes. Then after that, if you want to continue scanning, you
But
subscribe.
why can't I just pay just once? Like,
Oh yes,
why must I always?
there's also that option. You can pay monthly, weekly, yearly, something like that.
Okay, thank you. And these notes, are they just going to be Ugandan notes, or can I even detect fake dollars, fake pounds?
Well, for now we're developing for Ugandan currency, but maybe with time we can add also other currencies.
Okay, because they do have them in forex bureaus. They're always scanning.
Those are machines that there's no app in Uganda currently that does that. Yes.
So forex bureaus could be your potential clients.
Exactly.
Okay, good point. The Achievers.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are the Achievers, and we came up with a mobile
Where
app.
are you? Where are the Wees? Where is your team?
So the team wasn't able to make it. They had some emergencies.
How did you know about the hackathon?
Through my group leader, but she's
Who is
also
not here.
around. Yeah.
Okay, fine, go on.
So the Achievers came up with an app that's going to solve the problem of unemployment. So we are going to find people with small skills, let's say like house helping, electricians, and these ones, and people who can do some company jobs.
Okay.
So we shall be able to link them up with the big companies that, in case they need excess labor for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So bring these people to work. Let's say you're a pregnant woman, you're home, the chores have become a lot for you. So you go to our app.
Order for a maid.
Yeah, order for a maid for a short time, you pay. Yeah. So that's what we do.
How would I, so if I order for the maid, you tell me you're going to send me this maid, and you also tell me how much money I'll pay?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when the maid does the work, I pay through the app?
Yeah, you pay through the app, or you pay the maid and you pay our commission.
Risky,
like for the
because
app.
I will just take the maid and cut you out.
Yeah, no, like it's a
That's
win-win
what I will do.
situation because we are here to empower women. So if she gets that job,
But how do you verify that these maids are legit maids? What if you send a maid and then they steal all my stuff in the house?
no, we shall first test. We shall do background checks. Yeah.
On the maid?
Yeah, like we first have to know your background, where you're from. Yeah.
No, but I like that you're going for these vocational skills.
Yeah.
So 'cause sometimes you want a plumber.
Yeah,
And
electrician.
it's so hard to get a plumber, a legit one, a mechanic, an electrician, some person to just slash my compound.
Yeah, for a short time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the people we want to employ so that they just call them.
Yeah.
They work and then they are paid. Yeah, on short-term notice.
Okay, thank you. E-parking. And I hope you guys have your questions ready. We're almost done, so you should be ready to ask me whatever question you want to ask me, except for politics. Sorry? There's a, oh, missed you, sorry. I'm out of time. No, they missed their chance.
Yeah, this is Tyler Christine. We are the team e-parking.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're the
so-
team leader?
Sorry?
You're the team leader?
Yeah, I'm the team leader.
All right.
This is Charity Ainembabazi, and this is Elian. So the e-parking team, we are coming up with a mobile application, which uses the QR code technology. We are trying to replace the manual way of collecting the parking fares along the streets. So we are trying to come up with a mobile application which uses the QR code technology, whereby the driver comes, scans the QR code.
Yes.
As doing that, then the parking process has been initiated. Buys a certain number of tokens.
Yeah.
Then on coming back, the driver scans the code again, and the parking process is terminated.
Okay, so how is the payment made?
The payment is made in a way that when you scan the QR code,
Yes.
you buy a certain number of tokens.
Okay, and then it just goes to my mobile wallet to take the money out?
Yes.
And then when I scan at the end again,
The
it
process
confirms.
is terminated and confirms the tokens. Okay, the time you've used, then the amount you've also paid.
Okay. I would need a smartphone for that.
Yes,
What
need
if I'm a poor
smartphone.
capability phone person? Can't afford your services then.
We have a feeling at least every driver owns a smartphone.
Why do you
and
think so? A lot of taxi drivers do not own smartphones. They actually have Kavidity. Have you seen them? They don't? Which taxi drivers have you been engaging with?
Modern taxi drivers. And
Sorry. So it's your modern Kampala taxi drivers that you're targeting, right?
in cities and municipalities whereby we believe at least most of the drivers there own
smartphones.
But
why are you cutting out the poor ones who are a Kavidity guy? I'm a Kavidity taxi driver. Why can't I also be taken care of?
Yes, exactly. It's not only for taxi drivers, but also private drivers who own cars. Maybe they are doing some activities in urban centers. You have to park your car, and it has to be an effective way. So you can park your car, and you do the process.
But you're still only catering for the rich ones with the smartphones.
Not
the
really.
Kavidity car driver is not cared for.
Not really, but we also, it is going to be, of course, operated by the people in charge of the collection.
Yes.
Whereby we believe the authorities have to provide those smartphones for their workers.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Opportunity. I missed opportune. Sorry, I skipped you. You should have told me.
It's okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Gum Priscilla. Alongside me, there is Chiseje Rashid and Aparo Cecilia.
How did you hear about the hackathon?
Through social media, and last year, there is a team.
Were you here last year as well?
No.
But you know a team that was here?
Yes.
Okay.
There is an outstanding number of individuals in this country who are greatly talented and skilled, but society has shunned them away because of either their low levels of education or sometimes they haven't even gone to school at all, but they can do something.
So what will your platform do for them?
Our platform is going to give them an opportunity to put themselves out there, show yourself, because the way it is right now, you notice that...
No. Just tell me what your app does.
Show yourself.
So if I'm a book writer, fantastic book writer, I wrote a book, no one knows about me, I can go on your app and say, hello, I have a book, and I'm talented, and I'm a writer.
Yes.
Right?
Or better still, if you are in that category and you have you've come up with something, you're doing something, you're trying to survive, and you have your business, you can come onto our platform, advertise your products at a low price.
Okay.
We help you push. For us, the only thing we are doing, we're helping you to put your products there, and the rest you can handle yourself, the transportation, because your details are there. Someone can contact you.
Okay.
Through that, you
So
can
if
be
I-
able to push yourself.
If I say braid hair, because we have those people who braid hair who can come to your house and actually braid your hair.
Yeah.
So if I braid hair, I can come on your platform, say, my service is I braid hair. So if you need your hair braided, just contact me.
Contact me, yes.
Now for you, on your platform, what do you benefit? Like how do you...
Through the adverts, if you have your products and you want to advertise, because the
Then I'll
other
pay an extra
platforms
fee.
are quite expensive.
So I'll pay a fee to advertise in case I have specific hair.
Yes,
that I
all
sell.
you need to do is to pay that, and the rest is yours.
But if I come and I'm not advertising, I can use your service for free? Where I'm just saying I braid hair. Can I use your service for free?
Yes, but there is also an exceptional case where you come and you want people to help you. You need help.
In what way?
When you get, for example, let's say when you get the job finally, we are going to have to make an agreement with you whereby there is some small
There's
cost,
a fee
yes,
that I pay for being
something small, yes.
Okay, thanks. Because you also have to think about how the platform is going to make money. Agam. Okay.
I'm called Mastula.
Yes.
And this is Esther, and we are Team Agam.
How did you hear about the hackathon?
Sorry?
How did you hear about the hackathon?
Through social media.
Okay, good.
So farmers often face a challenge of cheatlings buying their products at a cheaper price, and the cheatlings sell them at a higher price.
What are the cheatlings?
The food brokers.
Food?
Brokers.
Okay.
Yes. So we provide a platform that eliminates these cheatlings by connecting the farmers to customers. With our platform, it can be used on any device that allows financial transactions.
So my Kavidity can work here?
Yes.
Oh, thank you for taking care of the community people. Which value chains are you mostly looking at? Are you looking at everything in agriculture?
Everything in agriculture for now, but in future we want to include any entrepreneur to join in.
Okay.
Yes.
How would you get the farmers to use? I'm a farmer in Nakapilipiti. I have tomatoes. How do you get me to know about egam?
Basically asking how we are going to market our solution.
How?
Okay. So we approach the farmers.
You're going to go all the way to Nakapilipiti as well?
Yes,
Okay.
so that we can market our solution.
Okay.
Then we approach you, we tell you about agam. Then you register with us.
Yes.
Then you start using our platform.
Okay. How do you make sure they are buyers? Because if I register and I have my tomatoes there, no one ever buys them. I'm not using your app anymore. So you have to make sure there are people who are going to buy my stuff.
Yes, we are also going to market so that the users can also download, not downloading, but use our web application so that they can view what is on market and what they want.
Yes.
Because our products are straight from the garden, from the
They're
farmer.
fresh.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Very
Welcome.
nice. Thanks. So I think we are done with all the teams. I've heard that Chikumi is here. No, I grew up at Makere Kavule and there was, I don't know if there still is Chikumi, but anyway. Is Chikumi here? You are? Who has the microphone? You still have the microphone? I'll take it. So, Chikumi, you're welcome. You will stand here. Is your team here? Or you're a one-woman team?
No. We have 3 people.
Yes.
The others have not yet come.
Why are you so late? Why are you so late?
I had some delays at home.
And the rest of these people didn't? Go on.
My apologies.
How did you hear about the hackathon?
This is my second time at the hackathon.
Okay.
But the time I heard about it, it was from my friend, Kakoza Steven from Kau. Yeah.
From Kau? I know him. Go on. What does Chikumi? Wow. What does Chikumi do?
So every customer that goes to buy from these local markets like Owino find it a necessity to always have hard cash in order to go and shop tomatoes from the market. The vendors themselves don't accept digital payments.
Yes.
In any case, they accept
so
mobile
what is
money.
your app going to do?
Okay.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, so we are providing the vendors with a debit card to enable them accept digital payments from customers.
Okay. So the customer and the Chikubo person would need this debit card.
No,
Both of them would need to have a debit card?
No, it's only the vendor that will need to have a debit card that will have a QR code and a 6-digit figure for account identification.
So if I come to Chikubo,
yes,
they are vendor, they have your debit card things, but I want to pay cash. How does it work?
For starters, pardon?
So I want to, I'm using cash, right?
You're a
I have
customer.
cash, I'm a customer. He's the one in Chikubo selling his stuff. He's the one with your debit card.
Yes.
How do we transact?
For starters, they'll be accepting, as we start onboarding vendors. For starters, there'll be, the vendors will still have the option of accepting cash, but then
but then if they accept cash, we don't need you. Chukumi is not necessary because we're already doing cash.
Currently, that's what is happening.
Yes.
But we are providing access to digital financial.
I still don't understand how. Currently, I can go to Chikubo, buy from him using cash, right?
Yes, at the moment.
Chukumi has this debit card
yes.
that you're saying you'll get him to you onboard him to have a debit card. I still go to Chikubo, I still have cash. He has your debit card. I still want to pay cash because I have cash.
Yeah.
So how does your debit card come into play?
So in case you've not yet heard about you
I will not, because all his customers will not have heard about you.
Okay, for the first time.
Yes.
So he's still free to accept that cash money.
Yes.
But then if he wants to deposit the money into his Chikumi digital wallet, he goes to any Chikumi agent within that very market.
So it's him mostly that you're digitizing, not his customers per se.
Yeah, it's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I think all the teams are done. Ladies, are you sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready with your questions? Does anyone have a question? Okay. The gentlemen have questions first.
All right. Thank you so much.
How did you hear about the hackathon?
From a friend.
Is she here?
Most of them attended the last year's hackathon, so they never came back.
Okay, so she heard about the hackathon last year.
Yeah.
And she told you that you should come.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Your question?
All right. My question is about some of the innovations. A person may do something. Let's assume I've come up with a product, I've innovated something, and it's working well. At maybe okay, it's working well in the environment I'm in. But then I go somewhere, and hopefully I find the same environment, and I tried maybe to bring in this same thing.
Yes.
But again, I get different maybe results.
Yes.
Yes. So, what in most cases causes that?
Okay. Simple thing is that the environments may appear similar, but they're never the same. Not always the same. Yeah. So, for example, you may come up with who are you with? If you will. If you will. So, you may come up with your if you will stuff that works fantastically in Kampala, right? And you're thinking, you know what, since it works in Kampala, I'm going to take it to Nairobi. It may appear the same, but it's not similar. The people are different. They're different cultures. So you also need to test. So whenever you have something that has worked in a market that you feel is similar to the other market, even when you go to the other market, you have to test it out. And in fact, maybe we don't even go all the way to Nairobi. We say it's worked in Kampala, if you will. The borders are using my if you will app in Kampala. They've figured it out. Now I want to take it to Gulu. So when you go to Gulu, you still have to test it out before you roll. Because especially if it's expensive for you to roll. Because now, if you will, you told me that you're going to talk to the border stages, get the data, onboard it onto your platform. So you do that for Kampala. And then it works in Kampala. And then you're now going to invest, you want to enter Gulu, and then you're going to invest all this time and money to collect the border stations in Gulu, assuming that it will work exactly the same way. It may, but if it doesn't, you've wasted your time and resources collecting all data without understanding that market. So the easiest thing to do would be that it's working in Kampala, I want to enter Gulu, I think they're similar, but maybe for Gulu, instead of going for the whole city from the get-go, I'll go to maybe these two municipalities, onboard the border stages in those two municipalities, try it out with those two. If it works exactly the same as the way it worked in Kampala, then I can fully roll out in Gulu. So you have to still test the water, of course using all the knowledge and experience, but you still have to test the water a little bit because they're not always similar. People are culturally different and people have different behaviors. So you can't assume that the behaviors are exactly the same, but you would have already the knowledge and experience from Kampala. You already know relatively certain behaviors of border people. You know they sometimes, maybe 70% of them pay back by the end of the day. You may go to Gulu and the volume of business is not the same as the volume of business in Kampala. So you may find when you test it in these two municipalities in Gulu, actually only 40% are paying back at the end of the day. But since you've just tested it out on two municipalities, it's not a big shock. But if you do through the whole Gulu and all of a sudden your revenues are from 70% in Kampala, they're now 40%, that's a huge hit. So you always have to test. And once you test, then you roll out. Yeah. Another question. Another gentleman. Yes.
Okay, thank you. My name is Robert from Chambago University.
How did you hear about the hackathon?
It was through a competing platform.
A competing platform, okay.
Yes.
to what? To Elite?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just asking, how can I make use of this network? Because I've met industrial professions here.
This network?
Yes, the whole network, the mentors I've met. And in the end, I'm going to pitch this project to potential investors and funders.
The mentors, I've told you how to connect with the mentors. That's the thing I talked about, right?
Yes, please.
And then for this particular network, I understand you guys have a platform. Charlotte, don't you? You have a platform through which you can network.
Yes, it's a platform, but we've just met and...
That's how it begins. You first meet.
Okay, my question is,
yes,
how can I make use of this network and the people, the potential investors that I'm going to meet?
Yes.
Like to get attraction and support for my project, because...
Okay, I'm going to flip this. How do you think you can make use of this network?
Well,
you've met them, you're going to be here with them for what, 7-10 days? They've introduced you to Moja Loop and all these other trainers. How do you think you can tap into that?
I can make use of them to redefine my project and share ideas, concepts, how I can redefine my project. And
you can connect their contacts, you can follow them online, you can do so much.
Yes, please.
The critical step was you getting to even meet them. So HiPipo has done that,
yes,
which is the hardest step. Yes. Now it's for you to take the next stages. They can't do everything for you. So once they've got you in the room, it's for you to work the room. Yeah? Thank you. Unfortunately, I have just 5 minutes left. And are you a lady? No, I need to take a question from a lady. You a lady? No? Okay. I need to take a question from a lady. Please, pass the microphone to her. Be very quick. I have 5 minutes left.
Okay, so mine is a quick one.
Yes.
The road to innovation.
How did you hear about the hackathon? How did you hear about the hackathon?
From
your team leader.
From my teammates.
Go on.
And he had it from Charlotte.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Question.
So my question is, what are those do's and don'ts for an innovative idea to actually succeed?
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick answer is, 1, if you come up with your innovative idea and you tell it to your friend and they don't like it, stop telling it to that friend. Find friends who actually believe in your ideas. It doesn't mean get rid of that friend. Just stop telling them your new ideas, yeah? I mean, there may be those people. Because, and sometimes you may need to develop your idea more before you start talking about it. But if you're going to talk about it, talk about it with people who are also like-minded. People who are also going to tell you, that's a great idea, but I think you need to tweak it this way. Those are the kinds of people you need to talk to. Don't talk to people who are, you tell them the idea and say, it will never work. From the get-go, they're telling you it will never work. No, talk to someone who may not tell you it's definitely going to work, but will tell you, you may need to think about this, you may need to think about that, you may need to. So you need to choose who to talk to first in terms of ideas. Choose who you're going to share your ideas with. Because a lot of ideas have died in people's heads just because the first person they told about it told them it's crap. And yet it wasn't crap. So you need to be stronger. And then also you need to be passionate about your idea. You need to be able to push it yourself. It doesn't matter how many 10 people are telling you it won't work. You must believe in it. Because if you don't believe in it, no one will actually get it to work. I think those are the most critical steps. Because usually ideas are dying in people's head. You find so many people who have so many ideas, but they were killed, so they never even took forward one. And yet all it takes for you is to take forward one idea to get it to work. But also you have to hustle the idea. You know, ideas don't materialize in 1 minute. Everything that you see here, HiPipo has been in business for like 15, 17 years. But people are going to come and say, oh my God, this is fantastic. I'm going to do it in 1 year. No, you have to hustle your idea. It has to take time, and you have to have the tenacity to continue, and every year, every month, you're still chasing that thing, that dream that you have. So you have to have that tenacity and resilience, but also you have to have the flexibility of mind to adapt the idea. So your Chinese, yes, I can't literally still even pronounce the name of your company. I would advise you to come with something simpler. Simple things people remember. In fact, that's what the whole point of the names I picked. They're easy, so I could remember them. So if you come up with that, you have to continuously tweak it, continuously learn, and therefore tweak it. The idea is still the same, but the more you learn, the more you should have the flexibility to tweak it. You have to be flexible enough to tweak your idea. There are some people who come up with an idea and they're stuck with it. They try it, it doesn't work, and they don't learn anything from that failure. They continue trying the same thing. So you have to be able to try it and learn what worked, what didn't work. Okay, let me continue with my idea, but with the things that are working. Then if you meet someone who is smart enough to tell you, I think you may need to tweak it this way, you may need to consider this other route, consider it. So you need to be flexible enough with the idea and not be stuck with the original idea, but be able to adapt that idea as you go along to make sure that it works. Thank you. I'm out of time. Sorry, guys, I'm out of time. It's too bad I only asked one question from one lady.
Once again, a round of applause for Daman. Daman, thank you so much. So Daman challenged me this morning when she said, I have a few teams, and I'm like, so where did Daman get the teams from? Didn't you get wondering as well? Because she didn't even reach out, ask, Aushat, can you share with me the teams? No, that means she took time to look for the teams, and that's passion, loving what you do. I think we can all learn that from her. She's very, very busy, but she got that time. Daman, thank you very much. And also, I think she was trying to communicate. The first impression is really good. Like your team name. Someone says, and they are curious. They want to find out, what is it about? Yeah? So I'm not going to take more time. And next, we are going to have Paul. He's going to take us through Mojaroop for DFSP. Who knows DFSP? Who knows? What does DFSP stand for? Not you happy, DFSP.
Digital financial service provider.
Okay, digital financial service provider. Thank you. So I'm going to invite Paul. Paul, please, you're welcome.
Hi everyone. Good to be back. It's a tall order following the last lady. She was really good. So I know you guys have been waiting to get down to some technical stuff so that you can start building and planning and thinking about building. Well, today I'm going to give you the introduction and to show you what you need to do and how to do it as part of the PSP hackathon. There's a word of caution though. It is in all startups, people tend to jump in and build first before they test the concept. So it's always better to test your concept out. And sometimes building first doesn't always make sense, but you need to go to market with something as soon as possible. You know, get to market and then test those concepts and make sure that they work. I'm not sure what happened to our presentation. Okay, great, we're ready. So I'm going to give you a technical introduction into the PASP Hackathon Sandbox, and I'll be going through really how to start thinking about what you need to do to integrate your system and your solutions into the Mojaloop PASP. Okay. So I thought I'd start off with a recap of what we presented last time. So on the board I've got the payer DFSP, that is the payer organization with the account that's going to be sending the money. And then there's the payee DFSP, which is the organization with account that's going to be receiving the money. And then we've got the 3 phases of a transfer: discovery, agreement, transfers. And over here we've got the PISP, which is going to be your software, which is going to be connecting in to trigger that software, that transfer. Now the first thing that happens, which I'm not going to be covering here, well, I'm going to be covering just now, not right now, is we need to build up a trust relationship between, I suppose what's missing from this picture is the end user. So the end user goes through your software, and then the PISP and the payer DFSP build up this trust relationship based on the scope of the permission that's been given to you, granted by the person, the payer making the payer. So this is, we call account linking, where you link your account through the PISP to the organization that has the account. Okay, and then the way the transfer happens is we get an instruction from your software, effectively, to send money to the payee, and then we ask the payer DFSP then follows the first 2 phases of the transfer. It does a discovery and agreement, asking what the terms of the transfer are. The payee DFSP. Now this organization is not set up as part of the initial trust relationship, because the initial trust relationship is between the user, the payer, the third-party software. So the payer, your software, and the payer's bank. That's or mobile money. That's where the trust relationship is set up. The payee DFSP is the organization you're sending the money to, and they will interact in the normal way that the P2P transfer happens inside Mojaloop. Okay, so the payee then does those checks and then returns the information back, and then you can ask your customer, the payer, from your software. You can confirm. You're asking them to confirm the transfer, and you're going to tell them who it's been going, who the money's going to go to, and you can also tell them how much it's going to cost them to do that and perform that transfer. And then when they accept those terms, that then triggers the money, which is a normal P2P transfer, and the funds get dispersed. So that's high-level summary of what we are going to be doing. So in the next few, I'm going to redraw this picture, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to the way that we interact with our the way the PISP connects into Mojaloop is through our SDK scheme adapter, and the reason why we do that is there's a lot of complexity around how these API calls work. They're asynchronous. They're done that way for performance. There's also a lot of security headers that need to be added in, so there's a lot of complexity in these calls. So what the SDK scheme adapter does is it simplifies that view into a synchronous call. In other words, you make the call to perform one of these actions and you get a response back. Sorry? I'm a little bit... Okay, I'm too quiet. Okay, I'm going to try and be a bit louder. Okay, so maybe I'll show it to you in detail on the next screen. But effectively, what I'm going to do is I'm going to squash all of this stuff at the top and put it all on the end. And I'm just going to be showing you in detail this interaction here, because this is the one that you're worried about. Okay. So that's what I've done here. So all the payer, the payee, DFSP is all now sitting behind Mojo Loop, and there's a whole lot of asynchronous calls going into Mojo Loop. Now, I've got a link here, which I hope to share with you later on, which shows you the details of these flows and what they look like, because they are really interesting. I want you guys to go and have a look, but you don't need to worry about that complexity in this hackathon, because what you need to worry about is what happens going to this third-party SDK scheme adapter. So this SDK scheme adapter does two main functions. The one is it turns these asynchronous calls, it makes them synchronous, which makes much more sense to build integrations with, and then it adds in the security layer. So using this design allows your solution to be able to be installed onto a productionized system with an SDK that has been configured with all the security. Okay, so the parties involved. We got the payer. This is your client. This is the person you know and that you have a relationship, and they use your software, and they're the ones you're going to be providing the service to. So they initiate the transfer by asking your software to please make a transfer. And then your software needs to call the third-party scheme adapter, which then calls the Mojo Loop stuff, to saying, please look up that party for me. I need to know who this payment's going to. And it returns back that information. And then the second call you're going to make is, please initiate this transfer. And when you do that, you're going to be specifying the amounts of money that you want to send. So this then triggers an agreement phase and conditions set up for that transfer, and the results of that is then returned back. So at this point, after the lookup party and the lookup the transfer, you know two things. You know who the money is going to go to, and that they've got valid accounts, and you also know how much it's going to cost you. You know the fees associated with the transfer. And then you can present that information back to the payee, and then if they agree to those terms, then you approve the transfer. Because this is third-party payment initiated, each transfer comes with a security validation. So it could be like a one-time PIN, or it could be FIDO biometrics, or something similar to that. So in other words, when you initiate the transfer, the one-time PIN from the bank went to the user, and then when it was presented with the terms, that user then typed in that one-time PIN, and when they agreed to the transfer, they provided that one-time PIN, and that goes through and then gets validated by the payer's bank, and then they proceed with the transfer, and they disperse the funds, and then they come back saying there's acknowledgement here. So there is that built-in security that needs to happen on every single transfer. So I covered a lot in a very short amount of time. Are there any questions? Yeah.
What I'm asking is here, between the payee and the third party, who partners with the PISP? Like, who approaches the PISP that we are going to use you during our transactions?
So the PISP, in this hackathon, it's going to be your software. So you're going to be the PISP, you're the FinTech. So you're going to be providing a service, and then at some point they're going to ask to pay. Please pay these people. And so the way people understand this better is normally with Google Pay or Apple Pay, but we're saying that that trigger from the payment actually can happen inside your software. So that's what we're doing in this hackathon, is that built into your software, you're going to have a payment initiation event. We're saying, okay, we're all happy now, let's pay. Let's pay that person. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Okay, I have two questions. It's about the third-party SDK. First and foremost, what's the meaning of SDK, and could you elaborate more of how that third-party SDK actually works? I didn't get it clearly.
So the reason why we don't elaborate on the SDK is it's actually a bad name. We don't like it. It's stuck. SDK is software development kit. It's a sort of an industry standard. What's running there isn't a software development kit. It's much bigger. So the way to think of it is a moduloop connector. So it's a little piece of software that you run on your side. So when I say your side, it's inside the PISP's environment. They own it, because inside there are secrets, and those secrets are your keys to making sure that there's security. So you're not allowed to let anyone see what's inside that SDK. So it is something that you own, that you run, and it's actually very cleverly designed. It uses Redis. I don't know if you're familiar with Redis, the tool Redis, and it uses a pub-sub mechanism to manage the asynchronous calls. Yeah, publicize, subscribe to a service. Redis have a little functionality to do that, and it effectively allows you to wait for a response, even if it might turn off and turn back on again. Do you see what I mean? It becomes a sort of a robust, and it goes back to the same thread. So if you scale this out and you have multiple threads, it always gets that feedback to the same thread that initiated the call. So it's a very elegant solution, and it's fairly lightweight. And it's fast. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. My question is, where can I find Mojarupu API? Because I tried to look for it, I couldn't find it. Mojarupu API. Mojarupu API. Where can I find it? Because I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it.
The Mojaloop API. In fact, let me open up this link. So in Mojaloop, docs.mojaloop.io, if you then, it's got a third-party section, third-party API. And then so all the APIs are here. The one we're interested in is the third-party API. So if you follow that link, There's a lot of details here, and then if you go to here's the linking. Oh, in fact, let's not do the linking because that's okay. But, don't look in detail yet, but I just want to get you to this. Has everyone seen a sequence diagram before? A diagram like this? Well, maybe I should ask who hasn't. Okay, wow, everyone's really up to date. So we got sequence diagrams everywhere. So that's really how we talk about the interaction. And there's also Swagger definitions for the details of those APIs. But in the next step, when I show you how to download the TTKs, built in is documentation around the APIs as well. So you can use that. Okay. Okay, great. We got some more questions.
My question is between lookup party, initiator, transfer, and why is it coming back to present pay and terms instead of going to the third party? If that's the process of the payment, how it's supposed to be. Or can you take us through from transfer up to the approved transfer? From top until the transfer is approved.
So what I've done here is I've tried to simplify it to make it easier to understand, and you're asking for the unsimplified version, which is good. I'm just wondering where I've got access to it. Let's try and leave it high level now, and I've got much more detailed sequence diagrams that I can take you through and show you in detail how that flow works. And I've got a session late on this afternoon. I will share it with us then. Okay, it's just going to take a bit of time to load it.
How does Moja Loop handle customer consent with PSIP?
So it supports 3 different ways of doing consents at the moment. The one is a one-time PIN for USSD applications or similar. The other one is there's 2 fundamental ways that it manages it as well. It's got so the Moja Loop hub can host the authentication or the credentials and then validate those credentials. And the default implementation of that uses something called FIDO, which is the same way that Google Pay uses. So FIDO, there's lots of ways of driving it. You can configure it to use biometrics or there's some USB dongle devices. There's a whole mechanism for managing online security. So that is supported then centrally in the switch. But there's another way of doing it as well, as instead of validating it centrally in Moja Loop, you can set it up so that it goes back to the original bank and asks the bank to do the validation. So I don't know if you guys have bank accounts, but often if you want to do internet transfers or something, it'll ask for permission and it'll have a mechanism for it to go to your phone or to send a one-time PIN or something similar. So it would leverage off the banking's or that DFSP's already structure for providing that validation. So it can work in both ways. So Moja Loop's designed to be flexible, but a big part of PISP is all about that how they do the authentication and the credibility. Then there's a third one I haven't mentioned, and that is you can do a web URL redirect. So that I don't know if you guys are familiar with the OAuth flows. They sort of industry standard flows where you can redirect to a website and then you can log in, and then it does also provide some security credentials to do it. And then after you've signed it, it returns a JWT secure token. So we can use that mechanism to then do the validation. So it supports all three of those. So it's fairly flexible, and it depends on how it's been configured in the scheme as to which one you need to use. Yeah.
So I was asking, there was a part where you said that when the payer is initiating the transaction, there are some costs that the PISP has to incur. So I was inquiring, is it monetary cost, or is it any other cost that I have to incur? Thank you.
The costs and the fees are actually based on the scheme, and we're not working against a real scheme at the moment. So we just working against a conceptual scheme. I don't think there will be the merge loops that I've seen go live haven't worried about the fees up front. So in the initial go live phase there are no fees, but then at some point you got to pay for the service, and there's going to be a fee somewhere. But the fee that we are returning back as part of the agreement is the fee that the customer, the payer is going to have to pay. Because there's nothing worse than sending a transfer, and then when you get those final results, you suddenly get billed for processing that transfer, and you don't, what we're trying to do is make, if we are going to do that, is to make that transparent, and so that you can see it right from the beginning before you agree to the transfer. So there's no surprise bills afterwards. You know about it up front. And that's the fee that I'm talking about. In our example, I think we're not going to have a fee unless, of course, that's important to your business case that you're trying to illustrate. And the fee can be collected from any party. It can be the PISP, it can be the DFSP, the payer, it can be the payee, or it can also be the hub. And we can also interchange fees between the parties. so anything's possible.
Thank you. How long does it take for a PISP to make transfer to a payee?
The transfer phase should happen in seconds. So you initiate the most of the time is taking should be to consider the terms of the transfer. So you initiate the transfer, it should come back immediately within a second and say, these are the terms, are you happy? And then when you say okay, then it takes another second to make the transfer. So it should be almost instantaneous. So I think 3 seconds is where the transfers start to time out. They're saying that you take too long, but obviously all of that's configurable. So if you want it to take longer, but normally this is a real-time transfer, we're talking about seconds.
My question is, I have 2 questions. One goes, how does Moja Loop handle scenarios where a user initiates the transaction and it delays in the system? And another question, the Moja Loop have specific rules or regulations that we have to consider when integrating it on our applications?
Sorry about that. I didn't hear your second question, but let me answer your first one. So Mojaloop puts a timeout. I don't want to get in front of that speaker. So the Mojaloop puts a timeout on each transaction, which means when that transaction times out, then it's as if nothing happened. So there's no obligations. So it's up to so no money is held up. One of the founding principles, or the level 1 principle, is we can't keep money tied up. So if you initiate a transfer and it reserved your funds up front, and then something happened and it delayed and it timed out, then that transaction's cancelled. And everyone's got their money almost immediately. So the money isn't tied up, which means if you want to do it, you can transfer it again. You will get that notification whether it was successful or not. If you don't get it, then you know it didn't happen.
Okay, then my second question is, are there some specific regulations that we follow when integrating Mojaloop in our application? I'm saying, are there some specific regulations or rules that we follow when integrating Mojaloop in our application? Or there are no rules relating to money, like regulations, the bank regulations we follow, or any other regulation relating with the currency that they follow when we are integrating Mojaloop?
So the way the PISP works is it's a request to pay with the bank that owns the account. All the regulations in the financial industry really belong to the DFSP, the wallet provider, the mobile money provider that owns the account, and the other mobile money that's receiving the account. All of those regulations need to be adhered to. So there isn't directly a regulation to the fintechs who are asking the transfer of the funds, but you need to build up a trust relationship with the banks that you're talking to. So you're important. You don't have the person responsible for the transferring of the funds are the institutions with accounts. You don't have an account, so you're not responsible for that. But the people with accounts need to be comfortable that you are responsible enough that they can trust you with the payment initiation mechanism. So there is a level of trust that needs to be built up, but you've got no obligation directly with the regulator as a PISP. Okay.
My question goes on the third-party SDK. With the third party, I'm seeing you've showed us the one from GitHub. Do you have a compiled version maybe for Python, PHP, for those different languages?
So the SDK scheme adapter is built in TypeScript and JavaScript, but it uses REST APIs, which means you can call it from any language that you like. There is no limitation on the language when you call them. Python, there isn't, as far as I know, every single language out there actually can call the REST API and have got libraries to be able to configure and call them. And what we do is we always publish an open API Swagger definition of those APIs. So you can often have a library where you can import those Swagger definitions and then do validation yourselves that you are meeting the criteria for that API. So because it's a REST API, it's very easy to integrate with any back-end system and software. And there's certainly no software language requirements in how you build your integrations.
That means we will need Redis in that particular case to run.
I'm going to show you a Docker Compose image where it sets it up and runs it. You don't, yes, you will need Redis, but not for this hackathon. the way we're going to manage it is as we're going to simulate it. So you don't actually need to run Redis, but on the full version, it will need to run Redis. But we have things called infrastructure as code that then can deploy an instance of it for you and then connect it up to the switch.
Oh, okay, because I was looking at the production level.
Yeah, your production level's a little bit different, but I'm more than happy to take you through that process and show you how that works.
Okay.
Okay, great questions. So I want to just show you the steps, high-level steps that need to go to do the account linking phase. So in this hackathon, I don't think all of you will do the account linking, but some of you will. The important part, I think, is the integration into the transfers. But the account linking is when you're building up that level of trust with your user initially. Well, it's between the user, the PISP, and their bank to make sure that everyone trusts each other and that the right level of permission has been granted by the user, and that happens during the account linking phase. So high level, how this happens is the payer asks the payee to please link the accounts. The PISP then goes through to Mojaloop, through the party SDK scheme adapter, to saying which are the organizations that support PISP account linking. So not all the people connected into Mojaloop may provide that support. So it'll basically come back with a list of mobile money providers who are connected that support the PISP mechanism, or banks, or FinTechs, or other DFSPs. You then need to make a call to get that account information for the particular user. So here we're providing this payer's user account information through to the end bank or mobile money or other DFSP provider, and then that account information then is provided to the PISP, and then they list all the different accounts and ask which ones you want to associate this payment permission from, and that then is collated and built up into what we call a scope. So that scope then is, when you provide the permission, you provide the permission against the scope as to what you can do with it. So that scope is then built up, and based on in the user interface with the payee, the payer, we then build up that scope object, and then we create this request consent object, which then goes off to Mojaloop, and then it comes back with some results, and then you need to authenticate that. So there's a flow that happens, and then finally the last step is you then need to pass through the credentials that you're going to be using long term whenever you're going to be making a payment. So this really defines the credential or the authentication type. So in other words, the user can decide which form of authentication or that they're willing to use in order to make a payment. So on this side again, we've got the asynchronous PISP with security on the other side of the SDK scheme adapter. Okay, so let's get into the technology now. So we got some prerequisites. I'm hoping you guys are fairly familiar with it. Docker. Who hasn't used Docker before? Do we know? We all know about Docker and images and okay. Hey, you shaking your head? Okay, so we need Docker on your PC. We also need Git, because we're going to be Git cloning a repository from GitHub. If any of you don't have that, please just give me a call and I'll come help you install it and make sure if you've got any problem with that. The other nice thing to have is Postman, but you don't need Postman. That's completely optional. What we can do is we can import the calls into Postman, and then you can customize and try out some of the API calls that your software is going to be calling up front. And then this is the key part. I've got a link to this this repository. So this Git repo, this diagram really summarizes how we're going to run the hackathon. Now, running a merge loop switch with PISP enabled requires a fairly substantial machine, and I didn't want us to worry about that, the technical side of getting merge loop up and running and making sure that we all have the right size machine. And what I want us actually worrying about is how does it build into your solution? As an entrepreneur in a FinTech, you got to be thinking, how do we plug this in? How do we get value from this integration? And I would rather this hackathon that's the part that we concentrated on. If you are interested in running merge loop and setting up FSPs, please come to me. I can help you with that. But for the hackathon, let's not worry about that. Let's worry about the APIs and the integration to your solution. So what we've set up is 2 TTKs. A TTK is in the community, we call it the self-testing toolkit, and it really, the way to think about it is an open API toolkit. It allows you to play and simulate and work with API REST definitions that are based on Swagger. And so we're leveraging this tool, because we use it a lot in the community, to do 2 things. The first one is we're going to simulate this whole mechanism. So that's everything, really. So you're going to be talking into as if it was the third-party scheme adapter without actually being a third-party scheme adapter. And it's going to simulate how it's going to interact with merge loop and the payer and the payee, and it's going to respond back with the same calls that you would as if you're connecting to a real switch through the third-party scheme adapter. So that's what we've got here as this receiver TTK. And then we've also built in the sender TTK, and this basically simulates the basic functionality that your solution can replace. So here there's going to be a test runner with a few test sets, and you'll be able to see the API calls, what's in them, what's in the headers, the details in the body. You'll be able to sort of understand that and then build that into your solution and then make the same calls into the same port. So this, using Docker Compose, will run on your machine. You'll have access to this with full visibility of what's going through there, and access to this with full visibility, and then you can build a solution on the side and check to see if it's working and making those same calls and meeting the same criteria. This is a very empowering way of learning how to sort of use those APIs, because we have so much good visibility here and here, and you can see examples of what we need to do. We can then you can then build that solution, or integrate that into your solution. Okay, so that's the plan. I think later on this afternoon, I will take you through actually running this and show you how it's working. But you're welcome to try it. The steps are here. You clone the repository, use Docker Compose up to run it, and then these are the endpoints that get made available locally, where you can explore the software, both at receiver and the sender TTKs. Oh, is time good? Okay. Are there any questions before we close out the session?
I was just wondering where we can get the link to the repo.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Charlotte to send it to you. Okay.
My question, is there a dedicated environment that third-party developers can use to test their integrated APIs before going live?
So there are environments that are provided by the Mergeloop Foundation, but you got to ask for permission to get access to it, and there's a process you need to go through. So full production environments cost quite a lot of money to run, so they manage access into it, but anyone can apply, and they can help promote you and get you access into a full-blown production system. There are other ways of running Mergeloop, so you can run it using Docker Compose locally, and there's also something called Miniloop, where you can run it using a Kubernetes on your machine, or in fact there's an infrastructure as code implementation, so you can set up using the infrastructure as code, which means there's code to build that environment for you. You can build it yourself, but on your own account. So you can set up your own account, and you can build and deploy a production environment. And I can take you through that in detail, definitely.
For the postman, are you going to provide us with the sandbox for the environment?
For the hackathon now, we're going to be using those TTKs as a simulator. That is going to be the hackathon sandbox. But if you want something more serious, I can show you how to do it. In fact, there's been so many questions on it. I'll put a slide together to show you the different links and the different places that you can get access to environments to deploy Mergeloop. So there's a lot to learn about Mergeloop. So there's a reason why we haven't given you the whole thing. There's lots of tools. Kubernetes. I don't know how familiar with everyone is with running Kubernetes. Are you? Oh, okay. And Helm. Are you comfortable running Helm? So you know, Kubernetes and Helm. You don't actually need anything more. I can point you to the Helm release charts, and you can deploy your own environment. But if you want some structure, you want a bit more. There's a lot there, and there's a reason why we just giving you the simple view now, because sort of getting on top of those technologies takes time. And I really recommend it. So I don't want you to shy away from it. I just don't think that there's time within this hackathon to do that. But certainly we do support people trying to learn more and deploy full production versions of the hub, or build their own production version based on what they need to do. The sandbox that we got here, when you do the Docker compose up, it runs it. Yeah, so the sandbox that we got is a simulator. I can show you how to configure that simulator. If you feel like it's not handling an edge case, we can add in a new edge case that's important to the solution that you got, and we can extend it. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. But if you do really want to run a proper merge loop, I'll be interested in the specs of your machine. If it's good enough, then sure, we can do it against a real merge loop. Oh, okay, you got it already. Okay. Okay, so.
Is there a way we can, I don't know, run Docker online? It seems Docker for Mac is 11 plus, and I'm running an older version.
Last time I used Docker a lot, it was different. So it's all changed now, and it needs an online account. I'm not too familiar with that, but I'm certainly willing to sit with you and make sure you get it right. You're going to need to have Docker running on your machine. But my understanding is that it should work, and even older versions should work. Our requirements are not that hectic. Okay, I think we're over time.
Okay, so I'm seeing here as if like there is an option of using npm instead of Docker. Any more information about it? Like there is, like according to the GitHub like sources I've been going through, like there's also an option of using npm instead of Docker.
npm is a package manager. You don't need npm for this, but you do need Docker. So what Docker does is it runs. So the application gets built into as a Docker image, and then it runs on top of a Docker engine. So Kubernetes also runs these Docker images. It's sort of a container D image, and it's almost like a virtual machine without any of the operating system. So the npm is not that. It is just a package manager to help update you and keep and install things on your local machine. But you're going to need something that actually runs these Docker images. So Docker is the best way to do it.
What are some of the risks a user finds when using Docker? That is one. And then what are the measures to be taken? Is Docker used in production?
So we don't use Docker in production, but we use Kubernetes. So to go from Docker to Kubernetes, Kubernetes, so there's this this is what we call a modern implementation stack. So what used to happen before this modern implementation stack is people would create software that would install on different machines, but then based on the hardware of your machine, sometimes it just didn't run. And it became unreliable, and it became a lot of work to try and make sure that it always ran the same way. So what's happened is the whole industry's moved away from that, and they build installations in Docker images. And the Docker images is then run on a Docker environment, which is a very low-level, high-performance environment to run that machine. And it always runs the same way, so it guarantees that you get the same response. So, so Kubernetes is an enterprise scalable environment that can spin out onto multiple machines and run across multiple regions. So it is a really good environment for running productionized systems, and it uses Docker images. So what I'm doing is I'm going to run the Docker on your local machine, so you get a piece of the real thing running without needing that whole big enterprise productionized system. So at the low level, it's the same image, and those images don't get recompiled. They get compiled and tested and then loaded in what they call the Docker repositories. When you do your Docker Compose up, it downloads and pulls those Docker images from those online resources. So you end up running something that's exactly the same, that's been tested and should give you the same result, that independent of your machine. So you'll notice coming to this hackathon, people didn't say you have to have a Windows machine, or you have to have an Apple machine, or you need to be running Linux. We didn't say that because that doesn't matter anymore, because we're running Docker. Okay.
Okay, I need a little bit of clarification on how we should implement module loop in our systems or our products, and maybe that thing that we exactly need a little bit more of clarification.
So module loop is a payment hub. So in your software, you're providing services, and at some point, someone needs to pay someone. Okay, and what we're talking about is building an integration so that you can embed that payment mechanism into your software. But now this is important. The person who initiates the payment, your client, needs to be the person who's making the payment, not receiving the payment, because the whole PISP is linking to your account, so that and you build up that trust with that scope, so that you can make payments from your account. You can't make payments from someone else's account. So it's important that the person, that the payer is the person you have that trust relationship with, and is one of your clients. And then in that in your software, at some point you're going to need to want to make that payment on behalf of them, and then you can use that PISP mechanism to initiate that payment. Does that answer your question? Great. Okay, thanks. We got another session later where we'll show you the code running.
Thank you so much, Paul. Now, what Paul is really talking about is very important. Remember, you have to have module loop in your system. It is very, very important, so pay attention, ask as many questions as you can, because you have to integrate Moja Loop. So next, I'm going to invite Simon to take us through solution designing. Simon, you're welcome. Presentation has been shared on the team leaders group. The team leaders can share with you what Simon is going to present. It has been shared. Simon, we have you have already taken 5 minutes in wastage. A hand of. You don't want to welcome?
All right. Thank you. I pray the frog can leave my throat. They say here that this voice is because you swallow a frog. So I pray that the frog can leave the throat. All right, so on each business, you must have a plan. You anticipate that you want to, let's say you're developing something or you're creating anything. The good thing, you must have a plan. Even the Lord himself got a plan for 7 days. There is a reason why certain things happen, because they are planned to happen. So that's why we're introducing you to solution design. So the process of defining how a system or application will meet the requirements and the objectives of the business problem. You have the PowerPoints with you, because I know I can't be straining my voice. So you want to create a solution, but you must have a journey to go through anything that you need. And of course, you will consider a time span and also the cost. Any project lasts for a period of time, and it also carries a cost. So if you don't plan, it means you reach in the middle, then you remember that you are broke. Then what do you say? Paka semester ja. Until next semester. But if you plan ahead, you make sure that you work within the stated time, and also you look for what you can manage, the cost. So you look at the functional requirements. What do you really need? The performance. How many are you? The compliance, the scalability. How wide can you cover? Okay, so that is what a solution design should include. A clear understanding of the business problem, the goals, objectives of the solution, the user requirements, technical requirements, system architecture. System architecture. I was one time discussing with a certain team, and they wanted to create, they had already created a system. They had to drop the whole system because of the system architecture, because of the user requirements. They had to drop the whole system. The system since we're on camera, I won't be spilling out so much, but it was meant to search for something. But the people who are dealing in the industry, where they were searching, they are mostly middlemen. For example, if I ask how many times you've fixed your own car, you'll tell me I have a mechanic. So when I'm designing a system, the user is not you. It is the who? The mechanics. So if you're designing a system where you're going to be hunting for spare parts, and you tell them, and you design a web platform, it may not work. Because, have you seen those people who are selling spare? You've seen them. Their behavior, they can't even, yes, they can own a laptop, but they don't want to have it. What do they have? Smartphones. So what are the user requirements? Are you getting it? What is the user behavior? So your system architecture should be able to address that. The architecture should have maybe an API to cover that. Because you end up dropping your system after putting it on the market and no one is using because they can't own laptops. Here in Uganda, how many of us are using iPhones? How many of us are using Mac? So who are you dedicating to? The software modules, the components and the data, the interfaces, who are you dedicating to? So when you're doing system design, you must look or consider such. Okay, so a product, I can't be reading and explaining it. Yes, a product.
Any product built or developed follows a few phases: plan, design, analysis, develop, test, and implement before it is available in the market, whether it's physical product or a software system.
You don't just wake up, then you say, I have an idea, and tomorrow I'm putting it on market. You plan, you analyze, you design, you test, you implement. Okay? So you know some of these testing and implementation, you know. So anything, we're not yet to the software level, but we are at the idea level, you know. By the way, I also want to air out something. When we talk about systems, people automatically run to technology. But systems is like a process of, you know, don't always create a solution and you think everything should involve technology somewhere inside it. So we had systems before. Before we had mobile. If you wanted to pay for electricity, Umeme had its own website. I'm explaining the system before mobile money and digital wallets. When you wanted to pay for electricity, Umeme had its website. But it was only accessed by the bank tellers. So when you went to the counter, what the banker did was to bank the money to the Umeme business account. Then they record you in the umeme that you've actually paid. Are you getting it? So it was a logical system then, before we got mobile money and other POS systems. So what mobile money and POS solved is us going to the bank to stand in long queues to pay for electricity, not so? So what happened, before Umeme could check, if this guy does not check in Umeme files to see that you've paid, you had to show a receipt that you paid. So their system needed evidence of Umeme receipts. So the bank would give you the bank receipt. You would also get a green kind of receipt from Umeme, not so? So that is before the digital enhancements. So here we're talking about the idea and the process we're going through before we even bring up anything, before we even write code. Okay, so we're going to be doing tasks and we're going to do step by step. And our first task is going to be the use case diagram. You must know who your actors are. You must know what actually they are going to be doing on your system or accessing and what they will get in return. You have the PowerPoints so you can see them clearly. So, okay, I won't disturb Sunita. No, I want new faces. Yes, I want new faces. So you read in the use case diagram.
I just read it. A use case diagram shows various use cases and different types of users the system has and will often be accompanied by other types of diagrams as well. So that the use cases are represented by either circles or ellipses. The actors are often shown as stick figures.
Okay, so you don't just put anything. We have a standard. Okay, the actors are stick figures. Then the use cases are elliptical in shape. Okay, so we have a tool. We have a tool. Cleo, help me share the link to the tool. Cleo, help me share the link to the tool. So we have a tool that we're going to share right now, and we're going to use it to develop the use cases of our applications, of our ideas. You can, for example, this is the website use case diagram. The site user will search for the documents, okay? And then they can preview or download, okay? Then, again, the same site users can browse for other documents. Browsing is different from searching. Is it true?
Yes, it is.
How?
Browsing and searching. When I'm browsing, I can open up a browser from any device, and then searching, it's actually looking for something from a website.
Sunita, is it true?
Yes, it's true. I say it in this way of, I don't know if you all get it. Google is a browser, but you use Google to search.
So let me not create chaos on such a small thing. But when you have something you are viewing, what are you doing? Exactly. So the same can view events or even log in. But the administrator here is the one who uploads the documents. You know, they are the ones who manage the folders of where the categorization of the documents may be in your system. They post the reviews maybe, or they are the ones to see which review to hide and which one to do what. So we are starting with the use case. You have the link. Let's start with the use case. And I'm only giving you 5 minutes. That is an easy thing. In 5 minutes, using that tool, okay, so if you have your own tool, it is okay. We just wanted to have something everyone can access. But if you have your own tools, some of us are rich fellas. Eh? You subscribe for a year.
Not really.
All right, so let us use 5 minutes. But if you have your tools, you can create the same. Let's create a use case. So this is defining the key points that the user will be touching, and the administrator, and actually what they expect from the system. So the cases. Meanwhile, kindly do some research about microservices, okay? Do some research about microservices. Okay, so
are we creating the use case diagram of a user or the admin?
We have 2 stick figures there. One figure says, now, if you're designing a system and you have the users, you have the agent, you have the admin, how many stick figures would you have? You have the user, you have the agent, and you have the admin. How many stick figures would you have?
3.
Why 3? Because they all interact with you at a certain time. They have a place, they do their own. Is it okay, Namikolo? Okay, there is what we call a sequence flow diagram. The question is?
My question is, when we are drawing the use case diagram, and let's assume you have a mobile app, but there is another system that would also be interacting with this mobile app. So that system, I guess it's also like the actor in one word or other. How do we represent it?
I think a sequence flow diagram will better represent that. But here, we don't see, I'm not seeing that part. But you know of a sequence flow diagram where systems are talking to systems. Okay, so here let's look at your user and the activities they are working on. So we have a diagram where systems talk to systems, okay? And it's also represented in a different way. So we've so far used 3 minutes according to my time. Which time am I using? According to my time, you've used 3 minutes, but according to your time, you've so far used 7. That's why you need a mouse. Remember, the actors are defined by stickmen. Then the cases are defined by ellipses. Someone is putting a cow. What action is the cow putting? You need to buy, what's the rule of a computer mouse?
I think it is mice. Mice.
You need to buy many what? Because the fingers, people don't want to prick their nails. So they move with the pinky. How many actors do you have?
We have two.
So 2 actors. 2 actors, okay. You can let us know the actors.
First, you have the student and the admin as the actors.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. The reason I'm saying okay is because I'm conceptualizing women for students. Right, so, and then the actions or the activities.
You have the login.
So who taps the login?
The student. Then they also pay membership fee, they save money, they request for loans, and they view their financial documents, and they also withdraw their savings.
Don't be scared when I'm close to you, when I'm peeping. Yes. How many actors do you have? No. Turn on the microphone. Yes, turn on.
We have 3 actors, the admin, the user, and then these people, the bank. The bank.
The bank?
Yes.
Really?
Because after collection of the savings, we save at the bank, and then when these people need money, we go and withdraw from the bank. And
Thank you so much.
Okay, so first stand up. First stand up.
Thank you so much. In our team, we have 5 actors. We have the chairperson, the secretary, money counter, and then the...
People, are you listening? Because important questions are coming up. You have 5. So the chairperson is supposed to endorse. And the chairperson's wife is supposed to. The bank should not be part. So is the bank using your system? So how many actors do we have? You need to stand up. Yes, Swaznig and who?
We have the admin.
Oh, I thought you were talking of movie actors. Okay.
We have the admin, we have the women, and we have the funders, like who are going to give out the loans to the women.
I think we should look at a way of, instead of women, those are your either users or clients. I don't know.
Okay, we have the admin, users, and the funders.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But the funders are also users.
But
Okay.
they are users in 2 categories.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. As Chikumi, we have 5 actors. The first one is the customer coming to buy tomatoes from the market vendor. Then the second one is the market vendor, who is our main actor.
People, are you listening? People, are you listening? Some of you have 10 actors. We want to know where they come from. So far, 2 groups are saying they have 5 actors. One was not sure if they are 5.5 or 2. Okay, so.
Then the third one, after the market vendor, we have the agents within the market. And then the fourth one is the administrator, the market administrator. Then the fifth one, who will come with time, that's the market, the person who supplies the vendors with goods.
Chikumi, do you really need all those? So
for starters, we have 2, but I was giving you the whole design.
Still, even in the whole design. So what are you reducing if you have 4 agents? Yes, those are like 4 middlemen.
No,
the vendor admin.
No, not the vendor admin, market. Because a vendor within, we are looking at vendors within markets.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have the vendor. Then who is next there?
The customer has to come and buy from the vendor.
Who is the user?
Our user.
Do these all have different control points in the same system?
What do you mean by
Let's
control points?
Let's say if I'm an admin, I'm supposed to give you rights. If I'm an agent, I'm supposed to register the vendors. So I also access your system at the agent side, but not the admin side. Then if I'm a user, I don't see what the agent sees, neither do I see what the admin sees.
The admin sees everything. It's the admin to register vendors in the market. The admin will register vendors in the market. Then the vendors will use the card to receive payment from their customers. Then to get transaction assistance in case they need, which is not a necessity for those that don't have even these phones.
So far you've talked about 2. I'm looking for the rest, the 3.
The 3. Oh, we also wanted to integrate the suppliers who supply these vendors with world stock in the market.
Okay, I see your point. So they are also on the same system.
Yes.
Okay.
But the main player is the vendor.
It's okay. All right, so I guess you must be done, or halfway done. Remember you're submitting these also. Okay. Yes. My sisters. My African sisters. So you can read that. You can stand up.
A journey map lays out all touch points that your customer may have with your brand. Okay,
a journey map lays down all touch points. Okay, I need your attention back. Attention back. We are on something new. Attention back. A journey map lays out all touch points that your customer may have with their brand. Okay? So your customer, a journey map is like, all attention back. A journey map is like you going to the supermarket and you want to buy something. If the shelves are not arranged well, you'll complain. If they are arranged well, you'll spend less time. So those are some of the touch points. If you want to pay with a Visa card, you go to the till of the Visa card. If you want to pay with cash, you'll decide. Not so? So those of you who have the PowerPoint, all of you look at that part of the slide and you analyze it, and we're going to discuss about it. You'll create your journey map to hand in, but not right now. But you're going to have to hand in your journey map. So are you looking at the PowerPoint? Tell Gabriel not to disturb us. We are in a session right now. Are you looking at the journey map? Look at the journey map slide. Look at the journey map slide. It has parts where the customer is even disappointed. It has parts where the customer gives a green. You get it? Eh? So for example, where the customer gets a discount, they are happy, they choose the product. Where they are not, they won't. So let me get close. This is not a must. This is not a must that you must include feelings. Are you getting it? It's not a must, but you're supposed to anticipate what the journey can look like. What do you expect them to do? For example, my friends of the women's cookies, either the customer can choose to say, I'm happy with to donate an extra shilling, or I'll be disappointed with the extra shilling. Either the customer can choose to say, I'm not buying the cookie, but I'm donating. You get it? Eh? So, but we must have the experience. We must have their expectations. You get it? Eh? And then the activities. For example, we want a motivation for them. So the customer wants to buy a Christmas gift for a friend. Okay? So what do? They are going to go to the websites and search. So they search for the product using keywords on my website or on your system. Then they'll click the first advert that comes. You've seen those adverts, eh? Some of them are for scammers, and they can choose to be unhappy if the website does not impress them. So they can decide to end there, and they opt for another website, or they go to the store. Okay? So they check online again. And then they are happy with the new website they have got for. It is informative. Okay? So they check for ongoing deals. They will always look for a store that is giving them at a least price. You see that? But their interest is a Christmas gift. Okay? So they are evaluating the product. They want to send to their friend. Which color is it? Is it really nice? How is the packaging? So they are evaluating the product. Okay? So if they are disappointed, so opens the product to check the product details. If they are disappointed about the product details on the website, they can be angry and they choose not to continue. Okay? So they opens one more product page. You get it, eh? And then maybe that's fair to them. So they press to pay. When they press to pay and they're disappointed with they want to do COD, or for you providing one network that they don't have, they can be angry. Or they opt for a card. You get it? So what is that journey, the process that the customer will try? What are those touch points? The customer will enter. They must look for a product in the shelf. If the product is not there in the shelf, they will have to call for help. I can't find soda. You get it? So their feeling is down. Then the help says, actually the soda is in the other shelf. If they go with the help and they both can't find the product, she will be angry or he will be angry and will terminate and go to another supermarket. But the end journey is, the process must end. The customer must buy a product. But what are the things, the options? They either pay with the card or they pay with something else. You get it, eh? Do we get it? So you're going to imagine that. What are the touch points your customer will go through while trying to access your product? You yourselves know, because you've been explaining to us, whenever we ask a question, you say, but again. Meaning you know that at that point the customer may be disappointed or they may proceed. No one accepts that the customer can be disappointed. They say, it works, it works. So, the other one you're going to draw it. And then also we have the user flow diagram. Ladies, this is women in FinTech. You stand up.
A user flow is a chart or diagram showing the path a user will take in an application to complete a task.
All right. So the path the user will take in your application to complete a task. For example, are we still on 5 factors? So, when I come to your website, what do I do first? Stand up. When I come to your website, what do I do first? Everyone is if you get the microphone, you're the one the Lord has chosen.
I think the first thing to do is to check for our website. After checking, then you log in.
I'm already on your website. Don't go. I'm already on your website. What do I do first?
You will just look through the content.
Exactly. After looking through
the content, then there will be a part of you will start reading. After finishing reading, then you will go to the part whether you can donate or buy a product.
Oh, yes. What do I read?
I don't know now.
How can you not know? Really? You should know the product is yours.
Okay, you will just download the wallet.
It's okay, you're going to know by end of day. Pesajet, you don't want to say that you were not active in this thing. Yes. Women in FinTech. So when I come to your system application, what do I do first?
You first register. For the system, it requests for your name, an email address, and your phone number.
Then
you log in. We shall send you a one-time password on your mobile phone number, which
you
fill out. Then you fill out the KYC.
Are people listening?
Then you fill out the KYC, where we shall also ask for your national ID and also photos of yourself, like a photo of your face.
Why isn't that in the part of registration? Then
you go to request merchant stock loan. You fill out the stock you want and the quantities, and then you submit. When you receive...
Which other person is dealing in e-commerce apart from Hands of Women? Because I want us to solve something for Hands of Women. Pesajet has explained the side of the app. I'm looking for e-commerce. People don't want to... I don't want to leave Hands of Women hanging. I don't want to leave Hands of Women hanging because the use flow diagram of an e-learning system is different from the use flow diagram of an e-commerce system. It's different from my use flow diagram of my doctor. You get it? Eh? In some systems, you log in first. In others, you log in at the time of paying. So I don't want people to be cramming. I say the man has shared the diagram like this. Let's also do the same. So there, because this is a mobile wallet, we want to ensure that we are authenticating users first, not so? So you either log in. By the way, the diamond shape, the oval shape, is not there by mistake. It is a signal for something. We have points of decision making. We have points of actions. You get it, eh? So the tools that were shared with you already tell you what the shape is for. So when the user logs in, okay, what will be required to verify the credentials, or they can choose to register. After registering, still they will be brought back to the login or their credentials. They will authenticate. If they fail, they are taken back to the login screen. If they are successful, they go to the wallet dashboard. You get it? Then they can access the API. Or they will always receive a notification when they access to the API. They choose the service still they want to attend to. Then the OTP, either it is successful and goes to the MTN API, or it fails. Yes, please. You stand up when you're asking.
Thank you, Simon. So if you have two main users, and one does the registration, the other does the login part, do you have to have like 2 or 3 user flow diagrams? Because they all can't fit in just one.
Not at all, not at all. Because, are you telling me you're designing 3 systems?
No, it's one.
Exactly. So all of them are logging in. And then the system will decide if the password and credentials are for the admin, or they are for a regular user. Not so? And that's why it's shown there that it does an auth check. So which means you just need to include that if it's for the admin, it channels to the admin what? Okay. You can ask, because these diagrams you're going to check to create a part of this hackathon. They are part of what you're defending on your presentation. They are not there for fun, eh? So you ask, by looking at that diagram, I can tell what your application is doing. You get it? Yes, please. You stand up when asking, eh?
Right, my question is that, okay, when we are coming up with some of these diagrams, you realize that some systems may have a lot of detail. So I have a question. Do we really have to put